My name is Elizabeth Bramall, and I am currently the band director at Liberty Middle School in Liberty, South Carolina. When I had probably like 120, 130 rental instruments come in and be dropped off, and having to sort through those, it was quite a bit to go through and try to hand those out to the kids and make sure they had everything, because it was a very overwhelming time anyway. But when I started renting through Sweetwater, they came in and they said, this is what we do. We send the instruments to the kids' houses. You don't have to deal with anything. And that is one thing that has made my job so much easier. When the students get the instruments, they go through that 40-point inspection, and it is very comforting as a band director because I know that the kids have an instrument that works. I have no doubt about my mind. It's a good working instrument, has been approved, has gone through a thorough inspection. I know that the kids are set up for success with the great equipment. If there's anything that we need to sub in or substitute to replace it in case I want something specific like a mouthpiece or a ligature, if I want something specific, Sweetwater has been great to make sure that those get in there and that the kids have what they need. There are kids who they get on the right instrument, they fall in love with band, and then there are kids who don't get on the right instrument and they like band, but they just don't love it as much until you find that instrument, and they just want to practice all the time, they want to play all the time. They love everything to do with band at that point.
Let's start off with our warm-ups. We're going to do just a few warm-ups, and we're going to try and jump in and see if we can get as much as we can done. Here we go, warm-ups, letter A, as in alligator. Trying to come up with different words every time today. Argentina. That does not start with a K. Awesome sauce. Here we go. And 1, and 3, and 1, 2. Ready, and...
April, May, I'll go out into the elementary schools and I'll sit down and I'll have like an instrument petting zoo and I'll let the kids see what the instruments are. We do a mouthpiece testing and the kids get to try everything, and then I get a little sheet that says what they did the best on, and I kind of sit down with the kid and I'm like, look, I think you did best on clarinet, but it's up to your decision what you feel is best for you. And the kids always pick the ones that they feel is best for them, the ones that they did the best on, and they end up falling in love with that instrument. So my first year, I actually did it all by myself. I had about 160 kids that were beginners. So it was quite a bit to do that all by myself. But luckily, my music representative came in and actually helped, and it made life so much easier. And then the next year, we ended up doing an instrument testing night, and Sweetwater brought out several different people to help with that. And it made life so much easier, made the process quick, and I appreciated that the company was there and helping, literally invested in the students in the program. So whenever my kids have repairs and I've sent them off somewhere locally, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. And at my school, we are Title I, we don't have instruments to give them to use. We just don't. And so the kid has to sit there and just finger along or do, something. If I give them a worksheet or whatever it may be, because I don't have another instrument. And so that lost time right there, they can't learn the music. They'll get so far behind. And so the Sweetwater, the protection program that they do when they do the renting, has helped so much because the kids get that instrument in 2 to 3 days and they can get right back on, and that helps so much with that, to have that quick turnaround so they can get right back on track. In my experience, every time I've used the company or I've recommended it to parents, I've always had positive feedback, especially about the customer service, of how they were paired up with somebody, and they always reached out afterwards to see how they liked their product. My why was actually my high school band director. He really taught me how to love music, and I wanted to do that for students. So I want to give kids that home, that place where they can love music, they can learn how to love music, they can play it. I actually had this conversation the other day with one of my 6th grade classes. I'd asked them, I said, were you guys all friends before you came here? And they were like, nope, I didn't know this person, I didn't talk to this person, I didn't even acknowledge this person. And they're like best friends now, and they're like, yeah, these are my people. They'll have lunch together, they have a band table in the cafeteria. They're their people. They feel accepted, they feel welcome. And sometimes that's the only place kids can feel accepted and welcome, is in a band room. And that's so important for kids, to have that place of sense of belonging. And I hope to do that for some kids, at least one.